have mercy, look at how the time goes.
Hey, welcome to this episode of the Coming Home Podcast with John Allen. It's Solo Saturday once again. Hey, right away, I just have to explain why this is being released so late. You know, usually I have these things ready to go fairly early on Saturday morning, if not at 1 minute after midnight, Friday night, Sunday morning. But this time, I slept in. I allowed myself to do that. I think I woke up around 10:30. I finally got up out of bed. So that's why I'm running late on getting this thing out. I had lots of work that I got done yesterday. Which made me feel like I deserved to sleep in. And then lots of work done today so far. So it's currently 17:32, which would be 5:32 p.m. for those of you back in the States. And here I am getting it done. So yesterday I was working on I'm trying to create some opportunities for my podcast. That whole thing about getting it out there, that whole thing about, finding the right kind of guests, doing some work, in the background, in the shadows, trying to get my podcast a little bit more exposure. So I spent a lot of time on that yesterday. Also, I was interviewed. There was a Facebook Live interview. My good friend, fairly new friend, Bar Scott, interviewed me on Facebook Live. So that was a lot of fun. I'll try and get a link. I'll try and get a link to that from her, and so I can post her on my Facebook page, and you guys can check that out. That's my Facebook artist page. It's at JohnAllenLoyalOak. That's at John Allen Loyal Oak. That's my Facebook artist page. It's under the name John Allen. So check that out. I'll try and get that link from Bar Scott and get that posted on my Facebook. So that took up a little bit of time yesterday. That was actually pretty late. She's way over there in Oregon. Oregon. Let's say Oregon. So there's a 9-hour difference. So I was up pretty late doing that last night, but I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It was a lot of fun. I love talking to Bar Scott. Check that out because we talk about some interesting things. We talk about songwriting. We talk about the situation back home in the States, all the protests against institutional racism, songwriting, as I said. What else did we talk? Yeah, and we told the story of how we came to know each other. So she's a very good friend. Check out that Facebook Live interview. You can also check out Bar Scott's music all over, everywhere you find music to download. She's a great songwriter, great vocalist. Check her out. Bar Scott. That's BARSCOTT. What else did I do? Yeah, yesterday I also wrote 2 songs for a new project that I am involved in. There's a group of guys. I'm not going to say who they are yet. They will announce all this when they're ready. But there's a group of guys who started a new band, and they need some songs. They need some lyrics. So I have a great pal, a great compadre who has written the music, and I have the honor of being asked to write the lyrics. So yet another project, yet another songwriting project. I love it. My songwriting has been kind of up and down. Sometimes I'm writing a lot. Sometimes I'm not writing at all. But yesterday I banged out 2 new sets of lyrics. So that was a good thing. And then, so that was yesterday. That was my day of activity. I was actually on the go yesterday from like 7:30 in the morning all the way until right before midnight. That's when I was finally done. So that was a full day of activity. So this guy was pretty worn out, and that's why I slept in until 10:30. But very tired, but it was the good kind of tired. I felt like I accomplished a few things, and I did. And then today, now my plan was to get up, and jump right into this podcast episode that you're hearing now. But I found out that, I've been thinking about this for quite some time to get my kids active in powerlifting. As you guys know, I'm a powerlifter. So now that I have some equipment in the garage, I have everything I need to powerlift right here at home. So I took the kids out there. Snoopy was out there with me, but I kind of took over the session, and I'm showing my kids how to squat, how to bench, how to do a few other supplemental exercises, and it was just a lot of fun. Our youngest kid, he needs to learn how to take instruction. He felt almost like it was a personal attack whenever he had to get corrected on anything. But that's a maturity thing. That's him not really understanding the whole concept of learning how to train. But he did great. Our daughter did great. It was a lot of fun to have that as a family experience. Yeah, it was great. Our daughter is 14 and our son is 12. So I started lifting weights when I was 10 or 11. So for those of you who are going to try and say that this is too soon, just be quiet and watch. You'll see. I want to announce that, first of all, if you guys want to send me an email, you want to get in touch with me, you have any suggestions, if you want to be a guest, if you know of somebody that you think would be a good guest, or if you think of some good subject matter you'd like to hear me talk about, send me an email. You can do that at john@johnallenpod.com. That's JOHNALANPOD.com. john@johnallenpod.com. Send me a mail. Let me know what you think of the podcast, and any suggestions that you may have, any feedback at all. Send it to me on that email, john@johnallenpod.com. I want to tell you, for those of you who hear this solo Saturday thing, this is a little bit different. As it says in the title, this is a solo episode. It's just me. I kind of update you guys on how the week went. I update you on a few things that are coming or a few things that happened during the week. But my other episodes, which you can hear on Wednesdays and Sundays, they are most often with a guest. And we talk about anything and everything. So there's quite a bit of variety. Sometimes on these solo Saturdays, I'll delve into political issues or social issues and kind of have a monologue on how I feel about certain issues. But that's only on these solo Saturdays. My other episodes, the focus is on the guest. But I have to be a little selfish, a little egotistical one day a week. Come on, that's okay, right? Solo Saturday. It's not solo week, it's just solo Saturday. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, I had a real interesting stand-up gig on Thursday. It was a club night for the stand-up club here in Drummond. And it was very interesting. It was an outdoor gig, which was great. I cannot stand the indoor climate of most buildings here in Norway. They just don't know anything about air conditioning. So when you have a day, like we've been having the last few days where it's 85, 86 degrees outside and you don't have air conditioning indoors, it's very uncomfortable. So I was kind of dreading being cooped up inside, but here we ended up doing it outside, which was great because it was a really breezy afternoon, evening. So there's a good breeze, and we had a tent, so it was blocking off the sun. So the climate was very good. It was comfortable. Sometimes when it's too hot up there on the mic, it can be distracting. But so that was a good thing. But we only had about 12, 15 people in the audience, and in a way that was good because I was trying out some new material. So it was great to not have too many people that saw that I stink. I'm being a little bit self-effacing there, but it was a good night to try out new material with a crowd that was a little bit smaller. Some of the material worked great. Got some good laughs and a little bit of applause. Some of the material needs a little bit more work. And then some of the material I'm just going to throw in the garbage can. So it was a very good evening. A chance to learn a little bit. Tomorrow's episode. Now, this is a pre-recorded episode. I recorded this on Thursday morning. My guest tomorrow that you'll be hearing will be Liana Thompson. Liana Thompson. She's the CEO of a company called Acquai. And I'm not gonna blow it. I'm not gonna give you too much information, but let me say this: they have invented a very meaningful and interesting piece of equipment. You'll hear all about it tomorrow. So that's a pre-recorded episode. So that will be up at 1 minute after midnight in Norway tonight, or Sunday morning, which would be 1 minute after 6 p.m. on Saturday tonight on the East Coast in the USA. So that's coming. You'll be hearing that tomorrow. Liana Thompson, CEO of Acquai. So how's everybody's summer going? Ours is canceled. We actually found this out a couple of weeks ago. Our flight was canceled. So we will not be going home to the USA, which, it's disappointing, but we kind of saw it coming. The issue is that the government here in Norway and the insurance companies here in Norway. Oh yeah, that's my phone ringing. That's my sister calling me on Messenger. She's going to have to wait. What was I saying? Summer vacation. Yeah. It's canceled this year. And we kind of saw it coming. The insurance companies over here will not cover you if you travel out of Norway into another country that has a big problem with COVID-19. And as you guys are experiencing back home, there is a big problem with COVID-19 in the United States. So with no insurance coverage, I'm not sure exactly how that's working, but because nobody's covered by insurance, very few people are booking flights, so a lot of flights are getting canceled. Basically, that's the chain of events, I believe, that led to our flight being canceled. But to be honest, if they wouldn't have canceled the flight, we would have found a way to postpone this trip, get some sort of a voucher to travel later, travel next summer or something like that. But actually, it works out pretty good that the flight was canceled. I don't know. I think it's sad. It's sad to see that people can't cooperate a little bit better. And why is the wearing of a mask been turned into? It's been turned into a few things. It's been turned into a political issue. You hear Trump saying that people are wearing masks only to protest against him. I don't know. There might be one person who's doing it. I don't know. There might be some people who are doing that, but I'm not there, but I just can't imagine that being a protest against him. I don't get it. I think the people wearing masks are wearing masks because they hear the science. They hear the recommendation from the medical people. They hear the science of the whole situation. So they're wearing a mask. And you can debate, does it protect the wearer of the mask, or does the wearer of the mask protect others who are around them? I don't know. And does it really matter? Does it really matter? Is it going to make the COVID situation worse if people wear a mask, or is it going to make the COVID situation better? I don't know. To me, it is a very easy answer to that question, but for some reason, it's turned to a huge source of conflict. What does wearing a mask have to do with your rights? It doesn't have any more to do with your personal rights than wearing a seatbelt has to do with your personal rights. Does it? Or am I wrong? You wear a seatbelt, don't you? You wear a helmet when you ride a motorcycle. If your state says that you should wear a helmet, is that any kind of infringement on your freedom or on your rights? But I don't know. I think that's the wrong thing to focus on. I think that's the wrong argument. The thing to focus on is our desire to wish one another well, our unity as Americans. Why can't everybody pull together? And if they tell us that wearing a mask will help, forget all the conspiracy theory stuff. Why can't you just think it through? Just think it through. If you're coughing and sneezing, in the open air with no barriers between you and the mouth and nose and eyes of another person, chances are they're going to catch whatever you are coughing and sneezing from. However, if you wear a mask, why do doctors and why do surgeons, why do dentists wear a mask? That is to protect the patient. So why should it be any different for this COVID situation? I don't know. That's my tiny little rant about the mask thing. However, from this little pedestal up here in Norway, it kind of doesn't apply to me because masks are not, it's not even recommended here in Norway. But then again, we don't have the big COVID problem here in Norway that you all have back home in the States. I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but it is what it is. If things were to get bad and if the government were to say that people should wear masks, if things got bad, if there was a lot of people getting infected with it, would I have a problem wearing a mask? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You just go with the situation as it is. I have a friend who I help with his powerlifting program. He lives back in the Detroit area. And the USAPL, it's a powerlifting federation under the IPF in the United States, has said that if you're going to compete at a USAPL powerlifting competition, you must wear a mask. So this friend of mine sent me a message, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? They want me to wear a mask. That's going to make things harder. What am I going to do?" My answer to him was basically, "Yeah, it's going to make things harder, but if you want to compete, then that's what you're going to do. Simple. If you want to compete, wear a mask. Straight up, straightforward, simple. It does no good to complain about it. If you don't want to wear a mask while you're competing, then don't compete. Take it as a challenge. Yes, it's going to make things difficult. It's going to change your breathing patterns. Breathing patterns are extremely important for powerlifters, as we who are powerlifters know. So that breathing pattern is extremely important. If you want that challenge, then put that mask on and compete. If it's too much of a challenge, if you think it's going to ruin your powerlifting meet or your powerlifting competition, then don't do it. Right? Straightforward. It does no good to bellyache. Just accept the situation as it is and act accordingly. Right? Or am I wrong? Oh, but what about my rights? Well, I don't see that this is a rights issue at all. It's a health issue. Just remove the conspiracy theories. Remove the feelings and the sensitivity and just look at the facts. If you have to wear a mask, you wear a mask, right? So, what else is going on? This went from a blue sky and breezy day to now the air outside is very still and it's dark. There's clouds, thunder, and lightning. And that is a rather rare thing for there to be thunder and lightning here in Norway. But thunder and lightning is what we have. And a lack of podcast material is what I have. But these episodes, these solo Saturdays, all of my episodes are unscripted. And I like it to be free-flowing. I like it to be a stream of consciousness, if you will. But the problem with that is that sometimes I run out of things to say. But that's okay, too. But maybe I should stop. Maybe I should call my sister back. Maybe I should call it a day on this podcast and go back out there among the living and hang out with my beautiful family. How about that? I think that's what I'll do. So, keep your heads up. Stay positive. Wear a mask. If it's suggested, it's not going to kill you. It's no conspiracy to step on your constitutional rights. Just wear the mask. Or don't, but then be prepared for some of the results of that, which we may be seeing in states like Texas and Arizona and California. But whatever. I'm not a doctor. Damn it, Jim, I'm not a doctor. It's a Star Trek reference. Maybe those of you who are under 40 will have no clue what I was talking about. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. this has been my solo Saturday, short and sweet solo Saturday. Bye, everybody.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Yes, I